But in a totally just world, any kind of Zionist tendency should be treated in the same way as being a rabid neo-Nazi. And you shouldn't even let someone be the local dog catcher as if they've ever exhibited any sort of positive feelings about the state of Israel. I'm so serious about this.
Now, by the way, he didn't misspeak. He doubled down on it yesterday. He said, no, I agree. That's what I think. Now, to me, that seems like extremely dangerous, dehumanizing language.
I'll tell you, there's some hyperbole there, but
that's putting it mildly.
I mean, he says Zionism, and I'll tell you what I think is really...
Sorry, I got to correct you.
So, just to be clear, this is a long conversation with Sam Seder. My platform is not equipped to handle the intricate details of a foreign conflict raging millions and billions of miles away from my house that I'll never visit, nor do I care about, nor do I research it in my spare time. I don't pretend I do. I don't pretend I'm an Israel-Palestine expert like a lot of these other YouTubers and streamers do. I've learned everything I've learned about Israel is against my will. It's all through streams like this. Okay, or from stupid bread tubers demanding that the drama YouTubers who do exactly what I say, literally zero research, talk about it so they can make a bad take that all these guys can react to and make a bunch of money off the backs of dead children. Okay, I'm not going to play that game. We're going to watch this because it's funny and they yell at each other. And then when I think that I've seen enough that I really can't engage with it much further, I'm going to point you to Lonerbox, who covered it and knew, he actually knows what he's talking about. Okay, that's our disclaimer. We're going to do this until I can't do it anymore. All right? This is not like a main selling point of the stream. This is the end of the segment.
What a nightmare.
Oh no, Sam Seder. What a
Remember the funny reference of the "Oh no, Sam Seder" meme?
fucking nightmare.
How have you been, Sam, since...
When I watched some of this offline, and Sam Seder kind of just looked at the camera, looked super puzzled like he was posing for a photo op, and then he was like, he started like talking like Shelbo was doing witchcraft. I didn't really know what was going on.
we ruined Steven Crowder's life together. Nice to see you again.
I think I posted in my Discord server a picture of Sam that looked like this, and it was dash Sam Seder. It was like my favorite quote from the fucking debate.
Feeling very badly for him.
Yes,
over the years.
It's a tragic loss of a great...
The reality of the situation is you could tell very clearly from the beginning. I can't tell you about the politics of the matter, and I can't tell you who's right or wrong and fact check you on fucking Israel. What I can tell you is that Sam was scared shitless to go into this conversation. This was probably something that he's been thinking about for a while of when this would inevitably come up. He's no doubt been kind of thrust in between this, despite the fact that his fucking employees talking about it. Hasan Piker kind of injected him into this conversation, and that's why we're here right now. And it doesn't look like he's super comfortable to be talking about this. It looks like he's extremely on edge.
Career and so much...
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'd be freaked out too, but...
Potential.
Yes, it is. Hey, are we live?
We are going to skip into it. I want to just make sure we establish like the beginning tone.
No.
Because it obviously starts screaming at like 15 minutes in.
We are live on the H3 channel.
Then I have a timestamp we can jump to.
Yes.
I want to just start by sort of apologizing.
That's never how you want to start one of these high tempo energy. Actually, at this point, when I heard him say that, I wrote in my Discord, I go, I'm not going to cover this, guys. There's no content here for me. The guy just opened up with an apology in a debate. I don't know what the fuck I'm here for.
I want to just start by sort of apologizing in that
Is this slowed down, or is this the actual speed? No, he's mentally on quartering speed right now.
I sent you a DM on Twitter 6 months ago or something. I was just going through to find out, and I
like, this is just, dude, he's like apologizing for having to be here. Yeah, man, I meant to DM you 6 months ago on Twitter, dude. I'm super duper sorry. I just got to apologize to you real quick.
Just realized you're no longer on Twitter.
Yeah.
So that
he
explains why
it's awkward. It's just I'm playing it. I understand it's killing you. It's just awkward. I want that to be established when we're watching this, because again, I can't comment on the true or false part of the statements, but I can comment on how they're acting and how loud they're yelling, which is mostly why I'm here.
He may no. Yeah, I didn't.
Wow, guys, he seems really slow here. I think he's abusing marijuana. Chat, one in the chat if you think Sam Seder's a drug addict because he's talking real slow like.
Months ago or something. I was just going.
I'm kidding.
He may yeah, I didn't see it. I wish I would have, but honestly,
Raining ones right now on slow mode.
it's
a joke. It's a joke, Legal. It's a joke.
I don't know what to do because like I want to get off Twitter, but also it's kind of a pain because Twitter is the way that like I would reach out and speak to most people. But I also don't want to be on a platform that's like...
And the crazy part is every time someone calls me an idiot for not understanding Israel-Palestine that I've explained 100 times that I do not care about, it's always some guy whose entire political ideology is because he watched a Hasan stream. The guy doesn't know anything that Hasan doesn't put on the stream. Like, in his brain plays Bad Empanada's voice as his internal monologue. That's the only shit he knows about. His research is watching a YouTuber sit there, eat a sandwich, and watch Internet Historian.
Owned and perpetuates basically like Nazi shit. So
yeah, this was yes, I understand that.
Yeah,
but I just wanted you to know I did reach out, and it was on me not to realize that
his brain is operating on slow mode right now. But he's feeling the pressure of this moment. That's what's happening right now, and it's kind of like I don't think Sam's like a victim in this, and his arguments are extremely aggressive and stupid when you get to the middle of it when he starts like doing the Hasan defense game, but like. He was kind of injected into this, as far as I'm aware. I don't know why Sam Seder's here. He's just the approved Jew, Sam Seder.
I just assumed he didn't want.
This is how he speaks. Listen to him later. He gets a bit more into his groove.
To respond, but
okay. Well,
well,
that's nice to know that you reached out. I appreciate that. And the reason, I mean, obviously, people have been pushing for this conversation. I don't know if you know, like, the whole lore of it, the background of it.
I mean, this is all I know is that.
The crazy thing is all these Twitch streamers are so fucking bad at their jobs. Whenever their viewers come over and they're like, oh, Nick, you're pausing the video too much. It's like, yeah, that's the point. If you want to go watch it, watch the original one. They're used to a guy just sitting there and letting the whole thing play while they write Peepo sad in the chat the entire time. Because the people over there on Twitch don't give them content. It's literal non-tent. It's not even reaction. It's just watch party.
Hasan reached out to me sometime. I mean, I got in touch with you October 24th, and I said that I was meaning to reach out for a couple of weeks. So I assumed
like more dead air than a Tonka broadcast.
It was sometime in early October, and my thought we were just going to do this off air. But my understanding is that you and he were getting into it, and you felt like because he wasn't Jewish, he didn't have a perspective on this, and that's why he suggested that you speak to me. I don't speak for all Jews, just to be clear.
I'm the law. Dude, I'm the Jorax, dude. I speak for the Jews. I am Supreme Leader Sam Seder. I speak for the Jews.
Right.
I speak for myself as a in any form.
Well, Sam, allow me to speak for all Jews, if I may, today.
Please.
No, actually, I mean that's a total mischaracterization, which is kind of my problem with Hasan. Which
I can't tell if this is a Shelbo reference donation that I got here. Oh, it's not going to read. That's sad. Like that's either a Shelbo thing because I put on the Dream Big hoodie just now, or it's Sam Seder debating about Israel. Like that meme, dude. The thing is such a good meme now because it's such a versatile reference.
We can get into if you want. We don't even have to talk about Hasan, but no. Basically what I told him was that I was citing polling data that shows that
it's either like Pokemon's ex-boyfriend 70 to
80% of diaspora Jews have some kind of positive,
or it's Kid Cudi lyrics,
positive feelings towards the state of Israel. And he was disagreeing with me. And I mean, this is available.
Well, yeah, I put on the Shelbo Wiggler, and then all of a sudden you guys were like,
by polls, readily available by
Nicholas,
Pew Research just last month, showing that. And I have, I don't know if you agree with that or not. I can pull it up, but 72% of diaspora Jews have some type of at least positive feelings about the state of Israel. I was stating that fact to him, and he was saying that I was wrong. And I said, "Who are you to talk about this?" I did not say that I only listen to Jewish people, which is a little bit of presumptuous and a little insane.
No, I don't think that's not what I took him to say. But yeah,
DeOrio.
I mean, as long as that's irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I haven't seen that poll. I've seen ones.
And it's like the way he's structuring it, obviously he can't speak for Hasan Piker, but he's being extremely clear with his wording there. It's like, no, that's not how I perceived it. Not saying it's irrational to come to that conclusion, but specifically saying that he didn't view it that way. That's very specific.
That have said that they have a connection, they feel a connection, either strong or somewhat, which is different than positive per se.
So
but regardless, I mean, I think if I don't.
Now, normally, someone said already running defense for Hasan. Normally, I wouldn't say that, but I've been spoiled a little bit, and it's definitely that. That's like a very early indicator, but not a significant one that you probably could look past if you weren't like, I guess, hyper analyzing it in post.
No, your upbringing at all, but I mean, certainly my upbringing, my Hebrew education was, I would say, 1/3 Holocaust, and I'm older, and so this was in the 70s.
All right, we're going to jump a little ahead here. Obviously, this is kind of low energy, not really something we're super interested in. Smaggle did give me a timestamp that I can jump to, but if it's not the one I want, I'll backtrack. What do we got here? He put me at 1:13:18. Let's check this out.
No, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. And part of the reason why, like, this chasm started between me and, Hasan is very influential. So when he decides that somebody...
I think this is exactly the timestamp I was looking for, Smaggle. Killer.
Is an enemy of the movement for criticizing him, which is what I perceive happened, then it kind of becomes reality. For example, one of my
Dude, I'm an Ethan Klein dick rider, and I'm not even subbed to the podcast. Jesus.
Criticism of his is him not supporting Kamala Harris. Now, would she have stopped the war and been like a perfect dove? I don't know, but I know she would have been better than Trump. I know that for sure. Trump's posting like
I'm a fucking member on the channel on this account. I'm not a sub to. That's so funny.
Like this insane Riviera, Gaza, the Riviera with Trump hotels. I mean, that's and like he's sending the 20-pound bombs. He's telling Netanyahu, you have a blank check to do whatever you want.
Again, like this just means nothing to me. This is just words in my skull. I don't even know what. Like it's like this is like trying to teach a baby arithmetic. It's like, oh, we're doing the shape red and triangle right now, okay? Well, it's like, I don't know if that's really a shape, dude. And then like, all right, here's long division. That's what I'm hearing in my head right now. It's like little birds chirping.
Now, like...
there's no way I could possibly fact check this.
It just came out that Biden didn't, did nothing to... I mean, listen, I think...
Nah, Ethan is right. He very well might be. I have no idea. I'm not going to pretend that I do.
Well, I'm talking about Kamala.
I suspect that... I suspect that she would not have had the same policies as Trump. But at the same time, I think that it was a massive failure, both on a real human level. Like it would have, I think, had.
Wait, no, I actually fully fucking. I'm backtracking right now. No, all the people who are like, I'm voting fucking third party for Jill Stein because Kamala Harris won't fucking announce like, hey, that won't denounce the rapes that actually did happen. Okay, all those people are fucking stupid. They're actually dumb. They're actual fucking morons. Okay, the whole like, I was it Mike from PA? I forgot who it was. Said that the Democratic Party needs to earn our vote. Was that him? Moving forward after they lost an election. Imagine being able to dictate that to your fucking voter base. Being like, yeah, I think that our candidate needs to earn our vote in the future. Bro, your fucking response should be, we need to vote more. What are you talking about? You lost, asshole. Oh, we're not going to vote over Palestine. Well, good luck. Okay, fucking... What do you think Trump's position on Palestine is? I don't know. It's crazy to me.
She articulated anything even remotely close.
Can I say something?
No, I went on this rant when it first happened. Why? It was actually boggling my fucking mind that they're like, dude, it's the worst of two evils for them. If your position is Palestine and neither party agrees with you, but you make a vote that does not matter by voting third party, you're just pulling votes away from all of your other policies that you care about. Oh, remember all those trans people you've been telling me that you care about for the last 3 years? Okay, well, Republicans are in office. I guess Kamala Harris won't deny the rapes. Fuck the trans people then.
What I would hope her difference would have been, I think it would have probably...
Yeah, remember abortion, women's rights, dude, fuck off.
Had implications in the election, but I think perhaps even more importantly, it would have maybe implicated the behavior of Israel.
Where'd all the trans people go? Dude, Chud Logic stream, yeah, dude.
So
That's where
I mean,
they all
look,
were.
I chose to support Harris because I perceived her as the lesser of two evils. But
that's not even like, you don't need to be politically literate to understand that's stupid. Okay? It's just such a crazy, niche, tanky argument that does not exist outside of the... This is why I think that there's like politics that I understand, right? With real people in the real world that you could actually discuss. I think that you're incentivized to be like, maybe not nuclear, but radical. You can't just be a liberal. You have to be like a psychotic liberal. You can't be a leftist. You have to be a fucking tanky, okay? You can't be a fucking a right-wing guy. You have to be Hitler praising, Kanye West slaying fucking alt-righter. It's the only way. It's the only way that you can function.
Yeah, me too. And I think that that's an important distinction to make at a time like this. Yeah.
I can certainly understand how some people were just so...
Like, half the country is not Hasan voters and fucking Steven Crowder. Or maybe Steven Crowder's not even the best example. Is Steven Crowder alt-right, or is he just, like, reactionary? I don't fucking know. Who's a real alt? Yeah, half the community... Yeah, it's literally Nick Fuentes and Hasan Piker. It's like, no, that's like 1% of the population. Okay, there's probably more trans people in your local area by stat than there are, like, crazy extremist people who believe the shit you're reading on fucking... some of these websites.
repulsed by what was happening that it made it almost impossible for them to vote for Harris. I think, you know,
I understand.
Which it makes the whole everyone is a secret crypto-fascist giga-Nazi thing even funnier, because I literally don't think it's as common as they want it. Like, they want the word Nazi to encompass everything right of where they stand. That's just an insane criticism for me.
Then I understand
because words don't mean anything anymore.
Why they didn't. I totally understand the perspective.
I mean, remember, dude, you don't agree? Remember when they said liberals were right-wing 2 years ago? And everyone was just fucking running with that? If a liberal is right-wing, then a conservative is alt-right. Liberalism is not right-wing. You're just fucking hanging out in too many Discord servers with debate people. Like, you're actually a fucking moron.
Of like, I'm so disillusioned with this administration, I can't support Kamala. But at the same time, like, a hugely influential...
And, like, even if that's what you legitimately believe, that's not what the country believes. You're an outlier. Like, you're like, that's not how this... It's like, well, I believe that socialism is better. Well, you don't live in a socialist country, so you should probably, I guess, do whatever it says on the fucking comic or whatever that always goes around.
A political streamer like Hasan, who has...
Like, you can't expect the rest of the fucking internet to interact with you that way.
Who has a huge influence on people, I think, and who's someone who, you know, was at the...
Liberal is a right-wing term in other countries. But yeah, but you sound like the people who say that the real people who loved slavery were the fucking Democrats because like the word meant something different or whatever 100 years ago. I don't know. I'm talking out my ass again. I don't know. Isn't that a thing where they say the people who loved slavery were actually the Democrats, but like the Democrats is like the opposite party now? It's like an argument people make. I don't know. Maybe I've been just fed bullshit.
Who's very vocal about being pro-Palestine. I feel like it's an abdication of responsibility to be like, I'm not voting for Kamala or...
Wasn't it like Democratic, Republican? I don't know, bro. Last time I did college, I did fucking history in college and I got an A, okay? I know more than any of you, all right? I got an A in a class that I don't remember anything about. I also got an A in religious studies and I went to a mosque one time. I can't tell you a fucking word out of the Quran even though they mailed 16 to my house.
I'm not telling you who I voted for. I suspect he voted for Jill Stein personally. But,
yeah, asshole. I got a fucking A in History 101. Come get me, motherfucker.
Either way, he hasn't said, and he wouldn't endorse her. Now, like, if you're just like a random protester or whatever, and like you're like, I'm so disgusted, I don't want to vote. That's fine.
You know what's crazy? They came to me and they said, Nick, you should become a history minor. And I said, they go, you should get a history minor. I go, do you know what my degree is for? They go, no, you don't understand. You're 1 credit away. You have to take 1 class or whatever. You're like 3 credits away. You take 1 class, you get a minor in history. I'm like, I'm a computer science major. Why the fuck would I even waste my time to get a minor in history? And they're like, I mean, this could be helpful in the future job hunt. I go, I'm sorry. What job am I lining up for right now, Mr. Guy who takes my money and my tuition? What job would be like, you know, these are two pretty fucking, this guy is of this ethnicity, this guy's white, but he's a minor in history for a comm sci job. No, It's never gonna happen. Fuck you. I didn't become a history. I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Nicholas.
But if you're like a high-level
Thank you
political
for the
streamer,
$5, my man.
and you know, basically, you have the capacity to weigh like the lesser of two
It's a real
evils
story. It's a real story that legitimately happened to me.
and what that means, I feel like it's an abdication of responsibility to not
Yeah, a
make
minor in history and a major in comp-sci.
that call.
I mean, you know, I
Yeah,
certainly
museum IT job, dude.
have been critical of.
I can run the history club at a school that I teach at, dude. That'd be crazy. I could be an attempted teacher like Mika's rhetoric. Guys, I know I'm 28 years old, but I'm looking forward to my future job as a teacher, and I'd hate it if the fucking 7,000 people watching me right now found out about that.
people
Guys, please do not. I'm an attempted teacher.
who, you know, generally don't vote for the lesser of two evils, but I think, you know, and certainly, you know, in the run up to the 2016 election, I certainly that was my perspective. But again,
I am starting the stream from the beginning. I went to H3, which I never thought I'd do, and subbed and donated to them. Cuz Hasan is effed in the head.
Based.
you know,
What's the name of the guy?
Become part of the machine.
Nick Oreo. Mr. Oreo.
And instead of donating to me or H3, consider donating to MS Society in the name of Harley Morenstein and whatever charity that Lena likes.
what the Biden administration was doing was so.
So, Maga, when did they start yelling at each other?
And you tell me what you think.
Oh, wait a minute. I love this. I didn't even know they covered this. It's not MS-13.
This will never happen, but in a totally just world, any kind of, regardless of your background, any kind of fucking Zionist tendency should be treated in the same way as being a fucking rabid neo-Nazi.
All
And
right, surely, I didn't see this,
even
but I can't imagine Sam is going to defend him here.
let someone be the fucking local dog catcher as Felix was posting if they've ever exhibited any sort of like positive feelings about the state of Israel. I'm so serious about this.
Now, by the way, he didn't misspeak. He doubled down on it yesterday. He said, no, I agree. That's what I think. Now, just to recap, he says,
No, dude, I was actually making... No, I'm talking about the foreign policy. No, I mean, No, guys, I was actually talking about different veterans. Oh, he actually didn't walk it back that time. That's crazy.
anyone that's had positive feelings at any point about the state of Israel is a neo-Nazi that's not fit to be a dog walker. Now, to me, that seems like extremely dangerous.
Excuse me, I believe the term was dog catcher, Ethan. You're actually wrong. You're actually a manipulative liar. Everything they ever said about you is wrong. All right, right? Okay, I've just misspoke. Now everything I've ever said is wrong. Okay?
Humanizing language about what could arguably be 70% of the Jewish diaspora, and certainly probably people you know in your family.
I'll tell you, there's some hyperbole there, but
He'd line me up against a wall, too. I can see it. I can see his eyes just turned red in my mind, okay?
That's putting it mildly.
That's a fucking joke, right? Is he serious?
I mean,
I can actually comment on this. This is bullshit.
he says Zionism, and I'll tell you what I think is really...
Sorry,
no,
I got to correct you. He says Zionism, and then he says, if you had positive feelings about the state of Israel at any point in your life.
I got to tell you, if you, if you...
Condemn it. It's so easy to condemn this. It is so easy to condemn this. If Ethan can turn around and say shit like, and like criticize the state of Israel, and that gets completely misunderstood or mislooked, rather, completely ignored, doesn't show up in any of the videos. It's just so easy to just say this is bullshit.
Nicholas,
Look
the
at
goat. Thank you
what's
for the
happening.
$5,
Like, you don't
my
have to
man.
bite into this and lick it up, dude.
I got to tell you, if you if you look at what's happening right now, and you have positive feelings about Israel,
He said at any point in your life, Sam. Just to be clear about what he said.
Would I have said at any point in his life, someone's life? But I just think this is such a petty, like
Ethan covered his views in the beginning of the debate, but you skipped it. Well, I'm one of the statistics, but I mean, I've talked about it on the channel more times than any of his detractors. My audience knows. And again, it does come up later.
idea that we're going to police. Hold on, let me respond.
ahead.
You want me to respond on this?
Thank you for hitting the
like I
goal,
say,
guys.
I don't
You've earned another goal. Thank you.
care about this, but if you're going to force me to respond to it, what Israel is doing right now is so far beyond the idea that someone says any time in your life or not or whatnot. He's talking about Zionism.
Wait, because Israel's bad right now, you can't say one positive thing about the state of Israel? I'd argue if you throw out the comment where he said "at ever," I still think you can probably say something positive about the state of Israel, right? Like, dude, even if they're the worst people on the planet, I don't think that you should be rendered unemployable, even if you're wrong, even if it's a wrong statement. Okay, and you're objectively wrong. You're factually wrong. You're like somebody's uncle on Facebook who thinks the new Hancock movie is going to have Homelander in it because that's come across my thing like 60 times.
No,
I'm not even kidding.
Why would
every
so
time I
many
open
people be
Facebook,
Googling
there are
that?
people talking about how Homelander is going to be in the new Hancock movie with Will Smith, and they legitimately live in a different world. They see different things. If a crazy racist uncle or something tweets out about it, I don't think he should be rendered unemployable.
And frankly, I think it's very difficult for me to understand how someone could have positive feelings at this time. Now, you want to say in the past,
but they shouldn't be able to work.
Nicholas, the goat. Thank you for the $5, my man.
They can't be a local dog walker or a dog catcher.
But okay,
Yeah.
like I say, I will grant you at any time in your life that is too broad a step. But wait, let me finish.
Yeah.
But see. You go in and you're making this about anti-Semitism by doing this hopscotch about.
You're making this about anti-Semitism? What? I feel like that's an easy read for someone who's not like terminally mind-fucked by whatever discourse you guys have been fucking. Is there a leftist victory too, where they have weekly meetings to go over all the bullshit? What?
A poll that people had positive feelings that Jewish people do, and then therefore he is anti-Semitic. And honestly, that's
not skipping stuff. That's him addressing the question.
Conflation, I think, is so dangerous and so disingenuous. I mean,
wow, what a brave take, Sam. Really putting your foot down on this one. Why don't you answer the question?
I don't want to get too...
That's the part that gets me for Ethan. I think that's what he should have done more, is be more aggressive. And I hope he does that with Hasan Piker. Because when you start monologuing about shit to get away from answering the fucking question, dude, just keep repeating it. Do the Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker is going to do that to you. You got to do it back. It's a battle of... Like, this is an ego death battle, not like a factual fucking debate.
Passion about this. But I will tell you something.
After 5 uhs, I'm cutting him off.
I have had a guy who went to my bar mitzvah, my sister's bar mitzvah, my kid's bar mitzvah.
Fuck your sister, fuck your kids, fuck the bar. Okay, that's just mean. I'm sorry. But it's like, fuck all this stuff. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant. It's not fucking relevant. Fuck all these people.
Sat at Passover with me 3 or 4 times. Call my father and ask him if
I apologize. I was a little aggressive, but you understand what I mean? He's just like invoking random bullshit here. Who cares, dude? Yeah, somebody must have said something.
I'm anti-Semitic. Now,
answer the question.
This is just one that is just an example, an illustration of conflating when he's clearly talking about Zionism. Was it hyperbole to say,
like, why does he have to invoke his sister and his kids to answer the question?
Anytime in life, whatever. The fact of the matter is this conflation is dangerous for Jews. It is
Nicholas,
a fig leaf and a way of weaponizing anti-Semitism that has enabled Donald Trump to do the shit he's doing, that has enabled the slaughter of...
How did we get to fuck Donald Trump too? How did we get to Trump? This feels like a bread tube video.
Thousands upon thousands of children and women and men, for that matter. It is not keeping Israelis safe. And this type of conflation, Ethan, is what I find far more irresponsible, frankly, than the idea.
Ethan's more irresponsible for criticizing Hasan's extremely stupid, easily dismissible statement? Are you serious? This is where we're drawing the line? You want to talk about posturing? This is what Destiny's community accuses all of us of doing all the time. They're like, oh, look at you, feigning fuck. This is him pretending to care so he can emotion his way out of the argument.
That he said positive any time. I mean, look, you do a show Sam, 4 hours a day. He does a show 5 or, as far as I could tell, 15 hours a day. And to focus in on that one tiny clause.
This is not one tiny clip, Sam. Well, you don't know. This is a totality of behavior.
Hey, did you know that Ethan made a 1-hour video putting a bunch more clips together that nobody wants to fucking watch on stream? Yeah, oh, wow, I can't believe you showed me that one little clip. How long do you have? I'm sure Ethan has a folder of 50 of them. You can watch them all if you need to. If you have the time, I'm pretty sure you can watch about fucking 500 clips of Hasan saying and doing crazy shit. oh, you're going to focus in on that one clip. Why would he focus on it? Oh, is it because it looks bad? Is it because it makes you look bad?
Behavior.
But you wanted
and by the way, it's easy, and I appreciate that you can hand wave it away and say that it doesn't.
No, I'm not hand waving it away.
Yeah, you are. You're going around. You're beating around your neighbor's bush.
Kind of are.
I'm saying this.
You're saying it doesn't. You're saying actually I'm wrong for caring about it.
No, yes. In fact, I'm saying this conflation is incredibly dangerous. It is disingenuous.
I think it's dangerous
right now,
to ignore what's being described as dehumanizing violent language for American Jews that have nothing to do with the war.
That is a complete mischaracterization of that.
It's not.
He's
not fit to be a dog walker.
He never says the word Jews.
He says a neo.
Listen,
he never says the word Jews. Oh my God.
There's a KFC in Yemen.
You don't get it, Nick. I watched the interview. The S are the last few drops of a moral compass and self-respect leaving Sam's spineless, self-hating body.
Oh, God.
What's the name of the
I'm
the
actually
guy
my
from
brain.
Keemstar
My
Orbiter?
brain is
Nick
exploding.
Oreo. Mr. Oreo.
He's getting lost in the
But
argument.
since you asked Hasan to say your name and he listened, can you message him saying good boy?
Yeah, I will. Okay. Dude, I can't. He's literally thinking that he's so lost in his own argument that he thinks the Zionist argument is the one he's having when they're discussing a clip where he said anybody who's ever expressed any positivity to Israel should be unemployable. Like he literally got lost in his own bullshit.
how many members of Kufi have positive feelings towards Israel?
Why does Kufi sound like a fucking VTuber community? That sounds like the newest 1,000-year-old dragon that Gator's watching on fucking Twitch.
Wait. How many millions of members of Kufi, the Christian organization, have positive feelings for Jews? It is clearly not a function of their Judaism.
Did Kufi just graduate too?
It is not a function of their Judaism, and so it is not
describes most Jews.
No.
Yes, it does, Sam.
It describes most Christian evangelicals too.
It may do them too, but it also describes 73% of Jews.
So that is not anti-Semitism.
Why does he keep yelling Kumfi? First he starts talking about monikers, and now he's talking about Kumfi, like being Kumfi with Umfi.
Well, I don't know. What do you call it when somebody's discriminating against the vast majority of a racial or religious group, Sam?
I'm sorry. You want to look at evangelical Jews?
I don't care about evangelical people.
Okay, but I'm talking about the way you're constructing this.
I think
you can say the same thing about Christian evangelical Christian evangelicals too.
Christian evangelical Jews. Can we hear that one more? It's like a Panasonic digital replay.
So you can say the same thing about Christian evangelical Christian.
This is the value to watching me, dude. No, everyone else just ignores that. They're just like, wow, okay, I misspeak. No, this is the content, dude. That's why we're here.
Evangelicals too. It is not anti-Semitism. It is not.
Dude, it sounded like he like blew up in Mario Kart and his fucking cart went off the side of the cliff.
Just isn't.
Yahoo!
Taking one example in isolation, which is what we've done here.
Well, you're the one who gave it to me.
Yeah, well,
I don't even want to talk about it.
I disagree
but I'm
with you.
using your example.
I just saw Keffel's tweet on Nicholas DeOrio.
Keffel's appreciated the shout out.
That reminds me of my favorite childhood movie, Koof Troop.
In that instance, that is not anti-Semitism.
Well, I disagree.
That's not anti-Semitic. Okay, dude. This is just... This is a crazy... I didn't see this. I walked away from the computer. I missed this whole thing.
Tweet.
This is like the most
Nicholas
obvious,
DeOrio.
easy
concession,
move on to the next point I've ever seen. Why is he locking in on this? This is when he decided to go out and about as like a Hasan fucking stan.
Nicholas, the goat.
Unlike,
thank you for the $5, my man.
Dude, the thing is, the most important thing you can do in these conversations is realize that like there are some bullets you have to bite because you look psychotic if you don't bite the easy one.
Okay, well, that's our disagreement.
Yeah.
But like rarely are these situations black and white. Not everybody is 100% right all the time. When they present you with something that's easy to like bullet bite, you can bite that and then move on to the next thing. You don't get locked in on stuff where you look stupid.
I think that conflation is incredibly dangerous.
Well, I disagree as well on that. I think
it's dangerous for this society.
Has he answered the question? No, we learned about his kids and his wife, and we learned about the word Zionist, and we talked about how Ethan is actually more dangerous than anything else right now because
I think, frankly, I think
it's just moralizing. It's grandstanding. It's soy.
it's dangerous to what I perceive
Nicholas,
as hand waving
the
what's
goat.
happening
Thank you
here.
for
I know you said you
$5,
aren't doing
I'm
that.
not hand waving.
Yeah, no, you're doing the opposite. You're endorsing
decades of thought about this.
So right,
This guy is doing like acrobatic stunts, bro. He's
Nicholas,
like, you know what's the
goat.
Olympic
Thank you
thing
for
where
the
the guy
$5,
tries to
my
jump
man.
over with the big stick? Pole vaulting. He's pole vaulting around this argument right now, where like he bends his back just ever so slightly above the pole or whatever.
sure. But the point is, you're saying that this is not dangerous. How dare you care about this? I think it's dangerous
No, I'm not saying that at all.
I personally, I mean,
I'm
Jewish
saying
people
the
have a collective
mischaracterization
memory of
of it
trauma,
as
Sam, and it
anti-Semitism.
starts a certain way.
Yeah, he looked more confident when he debated fucking 15 people in what was it called? Carnival or something? What the fuck was that? That fucking thing they were doing? Like, I don't know, everyone just walked up to him and was like, I'm going to debate you on, like, abortion or something. I don't fucking remember. He looked like he was more confident. Jubilee. Oh, like the bracelet. I should know that. Okay.
And it starts with people. It starts with dehumanizing language, like saying you're not fit to walk a dog. I mean, what are we doing here?
He's not talking about
it's
Jews.
irresponsible language.
He's not talking about
He's
Jews.
talking about 73% of Jewish people.
No, you said that.
No, that's a poll that's readily available.
No, you made that connection.
No, you made the poll, Ethan. You polled your audience. No.
He did not. Because we have millions upon millions of members of Kufi. We have millions upon millions in this country of evangelicals who also believe the same thing.
Does your dad
And
have?
You cannot say
Dude, wait, Kufi watches Evangelion? What is happening?
it's anti-Semitism.
Could you
cannot
describe?
That's an anime PewDiePie likes, right?
say it's anti-Semitism if you're also including millions upon millions, far more Christians than Jews.
Would you say that your father, who you mentioned, said something?
Yo, Ethan clocked the fucking random family references. Based. Dude, I think you gotta hold people to this. It's like, it's not a trauma dump. It's like a information blast. That's what I'm coining it. Like, you information blast somebody so they forget what they're talking about.
Would you say that your father, who you mentioned, said something to you, that he's ever in his life had positive feelings about the state of Israel?
I've had positive feelings of Israel.
Whoa. Does your dad have?
I like how they're talking about it like I got an accidental erection in class when I was thinking about the state of Israel. Oh, God.
Keemstar Orbiter.
Dude, they show one of those IDF soldiers and you start sweating a little bit. Uh-oh, I'm going to the camp.
Have any positive feelings about it now?
I would assume so.
Not in terms of like I support them, but
I've
like
had
I think
positive
Israel.
feelings. I went to Israel on.
Okay, good. Then you're a neo-Nazi, not fit to walk a dog. How do you feel about that?
No, that's you saying that.
That's
that is not
literally what he
Hasan
said.
saying.
I'll play it again.
No.
I think like this will never happen, but in a totally just world.
Gish galloping, that's probably like the legal term for it, or the debate bro approved term, but I hate those people, so I've created new terminology.
Any kind of, regardless of your background.
Actually, it's a red herring. Are you aware of your non sequitur? Hold on, I believe you've just crafted an appeal to authority, okay? You should be appealed to backhanded off the stage.
Any kind of fucking
In Minecraft.
Zionist tendency should be treated in the same way as being a fucking rabid neo-Nazi.
Nicholas,
And
the goat.
you couldn't even,
Thank
you
for the
shouldn't even
$5,
let
my man.
someone be the fucking local dog catcher as
You can't use ad hominem because that's the entire Hasan Piker debate plan.
as Felix was posting. If they've ever exhibited any sort of
Dude,
like,
I'm gonna. Oh, that's a tactical slur strike fallacy right there.
positive feelings about the state of Israel.
Dude, instead of Ethan bringing on, wait, imagine if someone's like, dude, listen, man, I really think that Ethan's just gonna go back on his 10-year plan of being a better guy, and he's just gonna start saying the N-word again as soon as he gets on my Twitch channel. All right, if it happens, dude, I might actually get banned. If he just comes on here and screams the N-word on Twitch. I don't know. I don't know if I can really handle this. I mean, that wouldn't be a win for him, right?
I'm so serious about this.
Another thing he's doing, by the way, and Hasan does this.
Listen,
he
you
plays
can say
around
that
with the
that's a
term
wrong thing to do.
Zionists, right?
You can say that's a wrong thing to say, but he's not talking about Jews. He's talking about people who have exhibited these positive feelings, and that includes millions upon millions of Christians. More Christians.
Okay, well, listen,
than
I don't think
Jews
they're
exist in the
neo-Nazis, not
world.
fit to walk dogs, either. I think it's insane.
His argument is that, like, other people are caught in the crossfire of his statement, not explicitly Jews, because there are more Christians than Jews. Okay, this is just... All right. That's awesome, dude. That's such a sick argument. Now, you know why there's so many less Jews? You know why there's such a discrepancy between Christians in the world and Jews? It's thoughts like this that are the reason why there's so many more Christians than Jews.
Same language.
Listen, you don't want to tell me that you have never engaged in hyperbole.
If less people thought the way that Hasan Piker does, there probably would be more Jews.
Both are in this business, and we do that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, I just think that. You know,
listen. You can say
I
it's
just
an
think
inappropriate
that, like,
thing to say. It's an unfair thing to say.
I just think like Arabs that support Israel aren't fit to walk a dog.
It is not anti-Semitism.
Okay, well, we're at an impasse on this one.
Nicholas, the goat.
So I mean,
thank you for the $5.
But anyway, another thing he does is he says Zionist tendencies, and he's someone that plays around with Zionism. He calls me a Zionist, and again, I know we're arguing here about semantics of what Hasan said, but I don't think
hyperbole for Hasan is described as saying exactly what he believes. It's just like an excuse to backtrack later.
Could accurately characterize me as that.
Also, the Holocaust? No, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, it's that line of logic that leads like that. That's I imagine that Adolf Hitler would agree with Hasan Piker's position on this. I feel like he probably would. That's my argument. Yeah.
As it's used colloquially.
That's the joke. Yeah.
You don't know, right? But he's saying Zionist tendencies. What does that mean?
I'm sure tons of people in World War II Germany would agree with you.
Zionist tendency.
The enemies of World War II would probably be like standing like, yes, Hasan, yes, like the way Nick Fuentes is when he watches him.
I don't know. Yeah, you're going to talk to him on Friday. You can
debate. As a Christian conservative, I had to pray to God to heal the migraines I was having after hearing all of this nonsense from Sam. I'll say a prayer for Lena and Harley.
All I learned in the last, I guess I would say last year of my life, is that all the people who feigned...
Nicholas, the goat. Thank you for the $5.
It's like, oh, you can't watch that guy. That guy's anti-Semitic. Oh, you can't watch that guy. Oh, you can't... Oh, that guy criticized, The Last of Us 2's game design. Did you know that there's, a synagogue in there or whatever? That must be an anti-Jew thing. I learned that, hating Jews is, a bipartisan issue for these extreme communities. I didn't realize how deep that ran.
Ask him what a Zionist tendency is. I suppose I would guess.
Nicholas,
and I've looked at polls too.
The most extreme people, I'm talking Bad Empanada type people, are virtually equivalent in maybe reasons differ slightly, but execution much the same. For interacting with people on Cozy TV.
Where people have various different understandings of what Zionism is, but I think it is my guess, and I don't know what he was thinking specifically, but the notion of an ethno-state that engages and it allows whatever in the name of Zionism allows
Nicholas,
this mass slaughter. I think is horrific.
$5, my man.
Sure, me.
Okay, I'm gonna. All right. I'm gonna button out. Hold on.
Whatever in the name of Zionism allows for this mass slaughter, I think is horrific.
What does the Quran say? I'm just curious. I don't know. Okay.
Sure, me too.
Okay. I mean, then I think we the three of us agree on that regard.
Yeah, I think we're so. Another thing is to take it even further. I mean, Hasan pretty much openly supports Hamas.
Let's not talk about Hasan. Let's talk about this.
Sure. I mean, what do you want to ask?
I gotta have Peter Griffin. Astaghfirullah, Nick.
I mean, if you want to ask me about, I mean,
well, let me.
I'm not here to explore.
Yeah.
I get so fucking crazy about this because it's I said this in the last stream. It's if the people that Denims and Frogan and who else? Denims, Frogan, and Issa, the people they defended, got to meet them and shake their hand, they'd find the largest remaining roof and throw them off the top of it.
I have a list of things that...
but if you want to talk about Hamas, I mean, I think, look...
Well, how do you feel about Hamas?
I feel that Hamas, people can perceive it as a liberation organization. We call them terrorists in this country. We call the ANC.
Wait, what Wait, whoa, Sam, what's happening here?
Perceive it as a liberation organization. We call them terrorists in this country. We call the
What
ANC
do you think about
terrorists.
them, Sam?
Listen, I think there are parts, I would imagine, of Hamas that have done good for the people in Gaza.
Do you know how crazy this is? Do you know how fucking crazy this is? You would not be treated this level of charitability outside of their safe space with anything else, even remotely comparable to Hamas. You wouldn't.
And I think they have done bad things. But I sort of feel, I guess, ultimately,
they would crucify, in a different context, they would crucify someone like Asmongold or myself in this case.
probably like Ehud Barak when he said that were I Palestinian and I was
Nicholas,
living in
the
Gaza,
goat.
that
Thank you for
it
the
would be
$5,
likely that
my man.
I would join Hamas. I mean, that's
What? Why did he voluntarily say that?
Ehud Barak.
Hold on, I gotta listen to that again. That's
When he said that were I Palestinian and I was living in Gaza, that it would be likely that I
What's the
would
name
join
of the
Hamas.
guy
I mean,
from
that's what
Keystone
Ehud
Orbiter?
Barak
Nick
said on
Orio.
multiple occasions.
Mr. Orio.
And I think that is very,
Literally say this. They have done some good and some bad about the Nazis.
that is a
it's like when Anissa Jomha is like, is it worth killing that many Jews to find some medication that... So I'm like, no, it's not. The answer is no. Even if that was true, which is not, by the way. Even if that was true, the answer is no. It's such an easy move on to the next question thing. Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, obviously, they did find some crazy medical advancements. So all those gypsies, gays, and Jews that were killed... Like, no.
What's
no.
the name of the guy?
No,
from
Anissa.
Keystone Orbiter?
No.
Nick Orio. Mr. Orio.
an understanding of human nature.
That
when
you're
you
not
are the
affording
subject-
Israelis, by the way, just to point out an inconsistency there.
How so?
Well, you're not. You're
Go back. I feel like I heard it. He's like, listen, dude, if I was a little Palestinian kid running around, and I was born into that, the guy who I watched said that he probably would join Hamas, and he's probably right. That's his argument, right? That's just okay.
you're like I refuse to understand human
Would
nature.
you partake in like hijacking non-Israeli ships? Can you expand on that?
And their reaction. It's just evil, and I don't know how to explain it.
I didn't use the word evil.
Right. I'm inferring because I asked you if you think they're evil, and you didn't really answer that.
Listen,
really like-
You avoided.
Why?
I don't know.
This is so like blatantly sides cocked. Because, dude, if you said anything even remotely similar about the state of Israel or the people who don't support the IDF but live
Is
there,
Dark Viper EU
you would be
a
met
virgin?
with like the
No,
most
I am not.
aggressive,
Why would so many
hostile
people be
pushback
Googling
on.
that?
Again, it's not even that, right? He's gonna say if I was there, I would have probably grown up as like a Hamas soldier, right? And then, like the response from Hasan would just literally be, if you have any positive thoughts about the state of Israel at all, even like, I guess, non-egregious ones, you shouldn't be employed ever for the rest of your life. It's just so crazy to me that he would voluntarily say this information directly after defending Hasan Piker's outrageous argument.
What
He said the Prime Minister of Israel. I know, that's what I said. I'm pretty sure he's he's engaging with that, right? Saying that's probably correct.
Gazans felt on
I clocked that. I assumed he agreed with that argument.
October 8th, but toward Hamas.
He's agreeing, not quoting. Yeah.
But I can tell you that, we have there is a long history of terrorist organizations or so-called terrorist organizations.
So-called terrorist organization. Thanks for the correction on that one.
Like the ANC or the IRA.
And he doesn't even sound confident in these statements either, which makes it so much easier to laugh at.
Even the PLO,
Now, Sam,
that ultimately become a political organization.
I think the comparison to Hamas to what happened in South Africa is insanely disingenuous, and I personally hate when people do that.
I mean, man,
like you have to. I mean, I would just be sitting here saying, like, so if you became that brave Hamas soldier, would you have abandoned your post when they were raping and killing innocent women at the fucking at the concert? Well, I understand that you probably would have grown up feeling like a certain way against the Israeli government, and maybe you did, but would you have put down your weapon when they were raping innocent civilians at the concert, Sam Seder? What do you think about that?
Mandela didn't think so.
Well, Mandela did think so. He explicitly stated that he avoided...
that's how you have to press people like this if they're going to sit here and dance around your questions.
Foreign exchange is weird, but here's a little something for the hundreds upon hundreds of hours of content
Thank
you
you.
provided.
I appreciate it. Someone said, well, what was that? Fuck, where'd it go? Oh, God, that was a good point.
I just saw Keffel's tweet.
Well, they said, Nick, that you don't understand. That didn't happen for them. But that's a good question to ask, because if he starts questioning whether the rapes happened, that's just more points for you, right? That's the perfect thing. To present it in a sideways way, where they have to then either confirm or deny the rapes, is just banked points for you every time.
Committing violence on the citizenry because it would make reunification impossible. That's something he said.
I think you could say that tactically speaking, listen,
in the totality, by the way, Sam, in the totality of their campaign, I think under 200 civilians died. And the people who did kill civilians were almost all held accountable for what they did. That's a difference, Sam.
Well, I mean, I can tell you that...
A significant difference.
Well, it is a significant difference. I mean, I imagine many of those people who committed atrocities on October 7th are dead now. And, you know, so...
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, that's accountability.
Dude, the accountability in this community is way different than what we do here on YouTube. Holy shit.
But
I mean, being
listen, when you guys talk about accountability, that's not what I meant for like Mama Max.
Being held accountable by the party that they're presumably doing the violence on behalf. Like,
and what does accountability mean? If all these people agree and support that, why would you like? Okay, yeah, so they're still a threat, right? Like Hamas, regardless, is still a threat to the region.
But you're saying the entire ANC was held accountable?
No, I was saying...
And I like the thought of like, well, they're probably all dead now. You know, I mean, it's been long enough. They've killed a shitload of people. What are the odds that one of those guys who was like raping women is still going, you know?
Nelson Mandela's party, if someone killed a...
They're like blind bombing hospitals over there in fucking Israel genocide land, all right? So, yeah, I don't necessarily know if they're getting KIAs, they're picking up the dog tags.
Civilian... They would hold them accountable. They would charge them. They would
yeah. So the October 7th victims were held accountable.
Disavow their actions.
That's another point. Yeah, dude. What do you mean accountability? Like what did he ever give a position on what he thinks happened on October 7th, or did we just kind of just assume that he didn't agree with Hasan on that?
The ANC did.
Yes.
Well, the IRA was bombing.
Nicholas.
No, nothing.
The GOAT.
I feel like that's got to be a baseline talking point for Ethan tomorrow. We can't progress unless you give a baseline position on, like, everyone should have to, the first 2-minute opening statement should just be a rundown of what you believe. I wish there was a moderator that could provide like 5 simple questions that they can't dance around, that you have to give 5 answers to. And one of them is like, do you believe that rapes occurred on October 7th? 100%. Do you believe that Israel is justified in their conquest? Do you, and maybe even make it a little bit more specific than that, because that could be a larger open-ended question. But that should be like the baseline, and we should then expand upon that or approve or disprove those talking points moving forward. I mean, obviously it's not going to happen. He's just going to scream soy, 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 and like yell over him the entire time. But like if I wanted a productive discussion, that's what I'd request. Yeah.
Places in...
You should be moderator. I'm way not doing that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, can you be unbiased in this conversation? Yeah. Okay. So I've been called a fat neo-Nazi who runs a neo-Nazi show. So probably not. I probably can't be objective in that conversation.
In England and throughout Ireland, I mean, we have even the Irgun or the Stern gang. When they killed
Stern pinball, yo, pinball wizard. There we go, dude. I can finally engage.
Over 100 villagers in 1948. I mean, the history is full of examples of organizations that commit terrorist acts.
Well,
now, I will tell you,
people look at
dude,
Nicholas.
Ethan, I understand. I hear your argument, buddy, but counterpoint. There's like been lots of terrorists, dude. There's like a lot of them. There's a lot of terrorists, man. There's like a lot of it. Terrorism's happened for like a while, dude. It's pretty bad.
Africa. I do not condone the killing of civilians.
Okay, there we go. Is he going to immediately go, and I certainly don't condone it when Israel does it? Is that like the next sentence?
And which is why obviously I'm upset about what Israel is doing.
There it is. There it is. Woo!
Sure.
And
the part that I don't like about people,
harassment.
Flip it right around. There it is.
people say, like, I feel like people sweep for Hamas by saying, like, what do you expect, right? But the truth is that people use South Africa as an example, but what South Africa shows is that you don't need to commit a violent war against civilians.
Maybe I know more about politics than I thought, dude. Holy shit.
Liberate
I know how these debates work. I can clock that.
yourself.
Well, I mean, listen, we had
Nicholas, the goat. Thank you for the $5, my man.
Thank you.
For a year, we had the Great March of Return, where, you know, Sinwar himself was involved in that. There was Palestinians marching on a regular basis over the course of the year. I don't know how many it was, 50 or whatever, that were innocent people who went.
The goat. Thank you for the $5.
Sorry, off topic. Have you
my
seen
man.
Airsoft Fatty's video about his documentary and Creator Clash 1? No, I didn't. And because every time someone asks me, they never tell me what's good about it. And Airsoft Fatty is just kind of like a lolcow, dude. I don't know. If you can't tell me, like, succinctly why I should care about that video in the middle of iDubbbz controversy land, I'm not, like, super invested in checking it out. But if anybody, again, I get this question all the time. Nobody ever goes, like, this is the reason why you need to watch it. Here's the hook and sinker. I don't watch, like, every single video about people I dislike. But I don't know.
There, and snipers are shooting down unarmed civilians. And so, you know, time and time again, and over the course of the 20
Is this guy on drugs? I counted 22 in 6 minutes.
years that I've been professionally, you know,
Yeah, in
covering
fact, I get
this.
more people in chat telling me that Airsoft Fatty's video is a fucking waste of time than it is actually engaging with, which is making me start to not doubt my previous positions. By the way, during this conversation about like an ongoing fucking thing in somewhere, I just want to remind you that
What's
you
the
can
name of
hold
the
on,
guy,
wait, sorry.
Keemstar Orbiter? Nick Oreo. Mr. Oreo.
Okay, I'll get to it in a
Chet
second.
hates both Ethan and Hasan. Ethan. Hasan. Destiny. Enough that he could moderate tomorrow's debate.
Yeah, he hates everyone individually. He could probably do it.
Nicholas, the goat. I appreciate that.
By the way, guys.
Ethan. What about this other group? Grapes happen all the time. Literally Sam Sneeder's entire points.
Listen, all right, I understand there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now, and it's really fucking stressful. And I know for a lot of you guys, this might even hit close to home. All right, but there's one thing that we can all agree on, okay? Code DeOrio in the Fortnite item shop right now can get the Marvel Studio Thunderbolts bundle for the exact same price that it's listed for, and I'll get a kickback, okay? I just wanted you guys to know you can use Code DeOrio in the Fortnite item shop, all right, right now, okay? And buy this new Thunderbolts Marvel Studios pack, okay? And you'll save nothing.
Attitude towards Israel's willingness to have peace has changed, and my understanding of it has changed. And I can only imagine how more intense that feeling is to be living in a place that is, you know, functionally like, the war.
Yeah, I get it, Sam. It's really tough living in a war zone. I agree with you. Okay, so what was the question we were talking about here? I'm sorry. How did this diatribe start? What were we talking about?
Ghetto insofar.
I'm so, dude. I'm
It's like
so
you don't
lost.
have access to resources. You have 50% unemployment. The
more resources required. All units.
Apartheid that is taking place in terms of the West Bank. I mean,
I agree with those characterizations, by the way, Sam. Just to say.
I would. Okay, but I can't imagine that my response wouldn't be to pick up a weapon.
His whole point is that you can't care about two things at once. And then doesn't Ethan say, can you care about two things at once? And then he's like, yes. I do remember that part. I did see that, right? He was like, yeah, you can care about two things at once.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what
it's
to tell you.
it's not really working out.
Well, it's none of it's working out, is it? I
not
mean, because we have
much
the
at all.
Greatest,
Not really
what
much at
is
all.
called the greatest attack on Israelis in 75 years. The notion of Zionism and the way that Israel is.
Wait, did he just say the greatest attack on Israel in the last 75 years is Zionism? Like this is a suicide? I feel like I don't know. Wait, is that I missed something, right?
Not much at all.
Greatest,
not really much
what
at
is
all.
called the greatest attack on Israelis.
It's called.
It's not really working out.
Well, none of it's working out, is
No,
it?
not much at all. Not really much at all.
What is called the greatest attack on Israelis in 75 years. The notion of Zionism.
Really? It's not the rockets? It's not the AKs? Okay, dude. All right, awesome. All right, yeah.
And the way that Israel is organized as a society is not protecting Jews.
Well,
it's not protecting Israelis. It's not protecting.
That's crazy because I thought it was like the guns.
Jews worldwide. It is. There may have been a time where Zionism had a.
You know what's worse than October 7th, where they raped and killed civilians? Zionism. Dude, I keep hearing you talk about these rapes on October 7th, but nobody talks about Zionism.
Vid is that he brings up some serious gripes of Ian being a snake to him, but then ends it on, "I want to talk and work with you again."
Yeah, it's
like, bro, you had me up until the last minute.
I don't want to watch that kid struggle through making a video.
And there were certainly proponents of Zionism in the early 20th century, in the late, perhaps late 19th century, where there was a notion of a multi-ethnic.
He's talking about October 7th, not Zionism.
Wouldn't be to pick up a weapon.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
It's not really.
All right, that's true. That's fair.
Working out.
I misunderstood.
Well, none of it's working out, is it?
I mean, not much at all. Not really much at all.
What is called the greatest attack on Israelis in 75 years. The notion of Zionism and the way that Israel is organized as a society is not protecting Jews.
Well,
it's not protecting Israelis. It's not protecting Jews worldwide.
It seems like he's blaming October 7th on Zionism. Would that be more realistic, or am I just completely off here? I need somebody in chat to tell me, and then I'll take their word for it at absolute certainty. It sounds like he's blaming October 7th on Zionism. What? He is, which is hilarious. I think he is. Victim blaming. This is like, yeah, no, it feels like him saying that, like, listen, dude, the bigot, like, dude, when so-and-so walked home from work and then she was assaulted, okay, that's like the worst thing that happened to that person, all right? But it's happening, right? Specifically because clothing companies are not helping, they are not structuring their clothing in a way that would make a woman unassaultable. Okay. That's what it feels like. That's what I feel like that's what he's saying right now.
It is, there may have been a time where Zionism had and there were certainly proponents of Zionism.
It's these gosh darn clothing companies that keep making these skimpy dresses.
In the early 20th century, in the late, perhaps late 19th century, where there was a notion of a multi-ethnic democracy that fell by the wayside. Folks like Hannah Arendt and Einstein.
Nicholas, the GOAT. I appreciate that.
I just started watching your channel 3 days ago, and I can't stop randomly yelling NICHO.
I might have to fix that. I might have to fix that. I shouldn't have a default sound for $5, the most common denomination. I probably should fix that.
Left the Zionist Congress, and what it has evolved into is, I think, a nightmare for everyone involved. And so, I don't know how I would react in that type of miseration, frankly.
Well, can I ask you?
But again, Ehud Barak said that he would pick up a weapon were he one of them. And
that's fine.
He's far closer to the conflict than I am.
I'm not saying I don't understand why people pick up weapons, right? So let me ask you this.
I think his take is more that October 7th shined a light on Zionism that wasn't obvious to the average person before. I guess, okay, maybe that makes sense. I don't know. That's way out of my pay grade.
What do you think about October 7th attack?
I said that just in case that's the actual argument, so I'm throwing that out there. I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me, but I'm an idiot, so.
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was horrific.
Mm-hmm. And this was like a military action by Hamas to what end?
I mean, I suspect. I mean, I don't know what the strategy was. I mean, they attacked 2 military bases. I don't know if they were aware of that.
It's like I feel like, dude, the way the left,
I just saw
and I hate
Keffel's
saying it
tweet
like this because it
on
sounds so
Nicholas
fucked up.
DeOrio.
The way that the
Keffel's
left has
appreciated the
normalized
shout-out.
violence makes this an extremely easy thing to just like steel man. They just turn around and go, yeah, I mean that guy shot and killed the CEO in cold blood in the middle of New York City. Free him.
Orbiter,
So like,
Oreo.
I feel like
Mr.
they
Oreo.
can mentally justify October 7th probably, and think that they're doing it correctly. I'm talking like the Frogans and Denims and those people. They probably could mentally. I don't know if they actually do, but it probably fits within the worldview that they've established by being bloodthirsty.
The dance.
The Nova rave.
Yeah, I don't know if they knew that rave was happening. I suspect.
I don't know if they knew the rave was happening. Did they blind fire? I guess I don't know. Maybe it was artillery. Okay.
It was to derail
Did they think it was a group of soldiers that were hanging out at a rave?
the Abraham Accords, which were going to leave the Palestinians out of the equation, where an authoritarian
You leave out that they
monarchy state.
attacked Kibbutzim, by the way.
No, yes, of course they did. But I'm saying that they. I don't know what the strategy.
I get the feeling that, and this is probably bad for Ethan, that Sam didn't expect Ethan to come knowledgeable on any of this stuff. They kind of thought he was going to just flail around. That's the vibe I get here. And I imagine the reason why that's bad for Ethan is I assume Hasan thought the same. And that's probably why he's freaking out. That, like, this isn't just some internet moron drama monger. He's done some research here. So I actually have to engage with his arguments. It's probably not like a welcomed thought for Hasan.
Well, okay, so what do you think, like, would you...
Because I don't know, like... I haven't seen the whole debate. I can't definitively say that Ethan's completely like fucking come out of here and obliterated this guy on his own stream, embarrassing the fuck out of him or something like that. What I can say is that Ethan proved definitively in this debate that he can hang. I think that is undeniable, that he can hang in these discussions with these political influencers who do this 24/7 fucking... for the last 5 years. He can hang in this discussion on this topic.
Expect the response of Israel would be to that?
I had no doubt on that day that Israel was going to respond.
Go insane.
I mean,
yeah, right. It was going to be horrific. We all knew.
Yes, but I think I think the lack of proportion.
Again, I'm having trouble engaging with Sam here and really like being empathetic towards his positions, not because I'm like predisposed. It's not because I went into this wanting to hate Sam. It's just that it feels like everything Sam is doing is on the back foot. He's always just kind of like, he's not asking questions. He always feels like he's trying to like think of the correct answer or whatever and say correct thing. He just doesn't seem like he's really coming to this looking for a dialogue, more like he's trying to prevent himself from getting clipped.
Personality was just beyond, frankly, and I was aware that this was going to be a horror show, but I don't think I had the level of awareness of what they would do to go in and literally...
Someone said he's responding. It's like, I don't even feel like he's responding to Ethan's questions either. It feels like he's just trying to say the correct thing, even if that means taking you so far off the beaten path that you forget what the question even was.
Level it. Destroy, what is it, 80-90% of the structures in Palestine. Bomb hospitals that they would use.
Like, if you have to be aggressive with people who dance like this. You have to be like, yeah, I fucking disavow Israel bombing civilians. Who the fuck wouldn't? My question to you is, what do you think happened on or whatever? I don't even remember I don't even remember how this started, to be honest. We're just so locked in this circle right now. I don't even remember what the actual question was.
Well, Hamas did know that because that's why they attacked.
Food as a weapon.
I'm more interested in like the justification for what they're doing.
Probably took hostage.
Like, you see, Ethan's trying to do that, right? He's just not jumping in fast enough, and maybe that's just because he's being more courteous, cordial, and he definitely shouldn't do that for Hasan. Because I guess this is not like a super hostile conversation, but it's obvious that like Sam's not looking to understand Ethan's position here. He's not.
With the idea that they would be able to negotiate
food.
I understand why they took hostages. I don't understand why they took children. and elderly.
I use food as a weapon all the time, dude.
You could have milked that so much harder. Big content strategy problems here, Nick. I'll help you maximize your money.
Dude,
all right?
The biggest food weapon is salad.
I believe that they probably. I mean, this is all conjecture on my part. That they would be able to trade them as a way to inhibit Israel's doing what they're doing, and I don't know if they could have even imagined that. I'm not going I'm not going to endorse Hamas's strategy here.
Well, I'm just trying to flesh it out here because this is
Nicholas.
What I'm getting to is Hamas. I think they knew that this was the reaction that would happen. You know?
I can't imagine that they assumed that there would be this level of destruction.
I mean, that's why they hate Israel. I don't think they underestimate how violent the IDF can be. You know what I mean? That's why they attacked.
I certainly underestimated that they would go this far. I didn't think
they'd go this far, but
bomb hospitals and shoot EMTs and have rules of engagement.
Like, this is so cool, but I mean, both of you guys agreed this off the rip. Like, this is not a contentious part of the conversation.
Engagement like
Nicholas,
this. I mean, I think
$5,
Hamas is certainly up to criticism for their strategy here.
I think that's an understatement.
Well,
yeah, it's just like, hey, yeah, Israel's so fucking bad, man. I guess. I mean, some of the stuff Hamas. I'm kidding. Some of the stuff that Hamas does here is pretty shitty, dude. But I mean, it is just, it's downplaying. It sounds like he's like erudite in his inner conversation with Turkey Tom about destiny. That's literally what I'm hearing here.
I mean, if that's the
well, I mean, they're a terrorist organization
the goat. Thank you for the $5, my man.
Intentionally antagonized like the IDF to come mass slaughter their civilians.
I think that they overestimated whether Israel cared about the hostages, without a doubt. I mean, there's I don't know that there would be anybody who would make a case that this is what was their plan have Israel respond in this way. That's absurd.
Well, and the same is true of, like, I guess Israelis feel the same way. Like, it was totally unprecedented. You know what happened. So maybe they didn't think that their mission would be as successful as it was. On the other hand,
I have no doubt that they did not think that they would that they would have been able to overrun that. I mean, I think we were told that the technology of Israel's fence, et cetera, was perfect and something we should emulate in this country. I mean, Trump was all talking about that. So I have no doubt that Hamas overestimated the IDF.
Yeah, I got you.
What they would be able to, what kind of destruction they would wreak, and they underestimated.
Like, but do you think that the people who were raping civilians in a rave would these guys got some pretty big guns. We ought not do this. Like, okay. All right. It doesn't really seem, it doesn't make sense to rationalize why terrorists do what terrorists do. Terrorists do what terrorists do.
The violence.
Then again, no, that's probably stupid. Because it goes off to, like, I guess let me amend that to, like, a random terrorist person is never going to be as intelligent in battle plans or, like, organizational skills as, like, a general of a military. It is important to understand why they do what they do, but you're never expecting some fucking terrorist to be able to go toe to toe with a general and then comprehend what's actually coming back towards them.
Israel would perpetrate on Gaza. I don't know that.
Yeah, it's important to rationalize it, but not justify. It's like the it's like the learn about history because it's destined to repeat itself type thing. Like, what got us here? What could we have done better in this scenario or whatever? That's reasonable. But, like, I don't know. I think people idolize these people.
Anyone could have imagined that Israel would have engaged in this level of destruction and immiseration and bombing churches and bombing hospitals and blowing up universities.
So we've been talking about what Israel's done. Like, he just keeps listing new places they shouldn't have blown up when they both agree with it.
Destroying the infrastructure. I mean,
yeah, I get it. They blew up hospitals and elementary schools, and they've also destroyed. You're just like, you're giving me a synonym for the buildings they've blown up. I know it's bad. I don't support it. Neither does Ethan.
It's almost beyond.
He's trying to think of another word for a school. They blew up schools. They blew up preschools. They blew up middle schools. Some of them, I mean, there were some universities too that they also blew up. They blew up the ground. They blew up the walls. It sounds like a Green Eggs and Ham novel.
So one thing that when I was talking to Hasan, and I'm just going to talk about his point. This is about him personally. When I asked him, because this is all
they blew up the walls, they blew up the halls, they blew up all of the blue and red balls, they blew up the towns, they blew up the mounds, they blew up the baseball.
Obviously, the $1 million question, right? By the way, just you know, there's not one public bomb shelter in Gaza.
There's not one public bomb shelter in Gaza. Okay.
I just think that's interesting. It's pretty.
I don't know what the fuck Ethan's trying to say here, dude. This is way over my head. Dude, I love Sam's reaction to this because he's like, "Yeah, okay, what?
Bombing?
You know, they don't have a single bomb shelter.
What? So one thing that I've.
How could they not have bomb shelters? Isn't all of their shit under churches? Is the bomb shelter is the church filled with civilians, right? Isn't that the entire point?
When I was talking to Hasan, and I'm just going to talk about his point. This is about him personally. When I asked him. Because this is
like the bomb shelter is the children that they put in front of the bombs.
Obviously, the $1 million question, right?
That doesn't make it okay to blow up those children, by the way. But I'm pretty sure that's the intent, right?
By the way, just you know, there's not one public bomb shelter in Gaza.
Sam's just like, what?
There's not one public bomb shelter in Gaza?
He just repeats it back because he's just not expecting, like, oh, okay.
Okay.
I just think that's interesting. It's pretty fucked up, don't you think?
There's not one...
do I think it's fucked up?
Do I think it's... He can't even be like, I don't know if that's true, or like, yeah, like you go either way. Like, I don't really know if that's true, Ethan. I'd have to fact check that. Or like, yeah, I mean, that's pretty fucked up, man, if you like choose to believe it. But he's just like, do I think that it's bad that there's not a single bomb shelter? That's like the only way to answer that question wrong.
Goat.
You think?
Thank you for the $5, my man.
He didn't even source it. He's just like, is it bad if like the concept of there being no bomb shelters?
I think it's fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understand the point. Like,
well, I mean,
do you think anything would be standing anymore?
Well, bomb shelters are underground. I mean, they would definitely be a lot safer.
I've seen what happened to tunnels under hospitals.
Your statement is, there was.
Dude, Ethan's like, yes, bro, you bit, dude, you bit.
So you say there were tunnels under hospitals?
Israel built the ones under the first one that they went into. They built it when they were occupying Gaza.
Are you right? That's true of that one. But I mean, they have a vast tunnel network, obviously, as everybody knows. But I don't care. I don't want to get into the weeds on this.
Yeah, some might even say that it goes all the way to New York City. Do you remember the fucking story? I'm pretty sure it was false. Where like the Jewish people started coming out of the fucking sewer drains or whatever, and there was like they thought there was like a deep Jewish tunnel system under a synagogue. That was like the funniest story. Like people in full Jewish garb just started fucking rising from the streets of New York City. It was one of the fucking funniest things I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure it wasn't real. I don't know. Somebody can a true American patriot fact check that for me?
$1 million.
I thought it might have been real, but I think it was overblown.
Question is,
I mean, of course it was overblown, but I think it was like over exaggerated as to what was happening.
Like what can we do?
But my chat is adamant that there was like a secret Jewish cabal hiding under the streets of New York.
Now it's obviously insanely difficult
as
Americans,
to say. I think we can stop aid immediately. I mean, obviously it's not going to happen under.
I'm in favor of that, by the way.
What do I say? Fuck, he said the right thing. Oh shit! Wait.
Okay. I mean, good.
I mean, I think
we should call for all aid to be ceased. And I think we should stop protecting them in the
What
UN.
should have Israel done on October 8th, I guess? Like, what would have been an appropriate response for their government?
I mean,
without
listen,
saying not this.
What should they have done on October 8th? I mean, I think that I think that there is.
There's no answer to this question that's acceptable. It's a great question to ask because any and all action will be disavowed by the communities these people foster. There's no reasonable expectation for Israel to be able to protect itself and simultaneously be criticized, right? There's no acceptable answer. It is just like they should have opened their borders. That's the only. That's
I just saw
terrorist attack. Open the borders. Let everybody in.
Nicholas
That's the only thing
DeOrio.
that his fans will accept.
There's
no reasonable
there was a
middle
tunnel being
ground.
dug by one group, as far as I know, which got filled in by the city.
Hitting strategic.
Nicholas,
Oh,
the goat.
but you
Thank
hear
for the
Sam says it here,
$5, my
hitting
man.
strategic points, implying that there was some response that would have been reasonable. I'm wondering what people think about that.
I think that there is they're hitting strategic sites to attempt to take out leadership. They should have. But let's talk. You know, like to
Well, the
look
leadership
at
was
Gifted subs. Thank you.
underground.
yeah.
I'm
To
gonna
look,
lose my voice if I yell.
look at that. To look at
What?
that moment in history, like maybe it was.
I disagree because they had to do something.
Maybe in that moment, they had to go in and bomb or whatever they do. I think that any
So bombing is valid then. Okay.
action that they would have taken at that point, frankly, was
Wait, what?
they had to go in and bomb or whatever they do. I think that any action that they would have taken at that point, frankly, was a function of literally decades of oppressing people and attempting to bring this to an eventuality.
Wait. Okay, I got so lost in what he's saying. Anything that they do is because they're bad people for decades. So like, what is this, like an emotional plea? Like, you could bomb them, probably in some cases justified as long as you're hitting key targets, but remember, it's your fault when you do it. Like, you have to like slap your hand as you click the trigger.
Right.
I mean, this was
He's saying it was manufactured.
And so what should they have
written
done?
ages
Like, as long as you say sorry when you hit the button that blasts the fucking whatever,
ago.
you're good to go.
Well, I mean,
You're
what-
avoiding, yeah.
Okay, I think
it's a deflection. He doesn't want to engage with it. But I mean, I can give him this one. You can't answer this question reasonably. Otherwise, you just get denounced by your entire audience, and then you become the new Ethan Klein. So I don't think there's a correct answer they can give that the audience be satisfied.
Should they have
written
done?
ages ago.
He said that there's no justified response because you were bad for years. I guess, yeah. Well, he's saying any response that you would deem justified isn't justified because they've been bad for like the last 100 years or a decade or whatever is one he used. But I imagine that it spans longer than that.
Well, I mean,
You're avoiding, yeah.
Okay, I think what they should have done
Yeah.
is begun empowering Palestinians in the West Bank. They should have done
This is
the
my
same-
favorite answer,
Okay.
Sam. You're saying that this is what Hasan told me. They should disband their government and lift the borders. And
I think Ethan bit too fast on this because he was looking for he should have let Sam finish talking here. This is my biggest criticism so far for Ethan, is like you let him dig his grave and then you snipe, but he got too excited there. You can't do that tomorrow. You got to let him say the stupid thing if that's what you're looking for.
you're saying that this is what Hasan told me. They should disband their government and lift the borders in response to the worst terrorist attack that's ever happened.
It's like you cut him off when you can criticize his argument to tell him what Hasan Piker thinks, which you're not debating Hasan Piker. You're debating Sam Seder right now as practice for Hasan Piker. You got to lock in.
I think honestly, when you see that your policies have failed, but I don't think this
you
was their
actually don't believe
agenda.
that that's a real thing, though. I'm interested in having like a real.
He kind of gets a little lucky here because Sam bites a little bit. But again, I think that the dialogue tree, if he didn't intervene there and let him talk, might have been more lucrative.
Conversation. You can't like live in a fairy tale land where, in response to the worst military or terrorist attack of all time, Israel, who's already, as you state, like genocidal and racist and all these terrible things, is going to lift their borders and disband their
Well,
government.
wait a second. You're asking me what they should have done, and that's different.
No, in a
from
realistic way, not in a fairy
tale,
tale, Sam.
Well, listen, there is no realistic thing. Their agenda has been, it has been quite clear. Their agenda has been, since Ariel Sharon walked on the Temple Mount.
Since Ariel Helwani talked to Conor McGregor at the end of UFC 345, all right?
And tried to scuttle peace talks. The agenda since the assassination of Rabin by arch Zionists in Israel, the agenda has been to bring about this moment. There is no doubt about it. The annihilation of the Palestinian people has been an agenda in Israel.
This is like the America Deserve 9/11 take on like turbo crack. it's just I'm so sick and tired of it. Well, Israel's I guess not foreign. Israel's domestic policy decisions are the reason why those women got raped. It just doesn't sound good when you say it like that. Like it's because of it's Israel's domestic policy decisions that are the reasons why those women, the civilians and children have been raped and murdered for the last couple of years.
For far too long. So from the perspective, it's anything I say is fantastical relative to what they would actually do. Anything.
There's nothing they could have done that because of the situation, anything they would have done would have been.
There was no plan.
Like on 9/11, do you think Hasan Piker would have fired up a stream if he was like popular and didn't, if he had met Destiny earlier and he fires up a stream and he goes, "All right, dude, I understand that you're upset right now because a whole lot of New Yorkers fucking died. But I think the TSA is a bad idea. I say we open our borders, dude. Let all the terrorists in." Now, obviously, it's different because it's foreign policy decisions, not domestic policy decisions. But, like, I'm sorry, dude. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that if there's a terrorist attack on your land, there's anyone could turn around and say, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's not a good comparison because, I mean, he would go and say that you should pull out of these regions and stuff and you shouldn't be there. But that's not the same as, like, you should open up your borders and let these people who fucking raped and killed all those civilians just fucking pour in, dude. The Alex Jones thing. They're just fucking raping them. Like
on this day, they were going to do this. But if you go back 10 or 15 years ago and look into Bibi Netanyahu's brain, the idea that this is ultimately going to happen was definitely the agenda.
What, in terms of like attacking Gaza or inciting an attack?
Sam's response was bad, but I would have liked to hear more of it. And it's so fucking frustrating because there are times in this conversation where I feel like Ethan needs to press quicker because this thing is going nowhere. You're not getting anything. He's going in a bad direction. But in this case, Ethan wanted desperately to slam this point home at a point where I think Sam could have said something really useful. Debate stuff like this is a lot of like, it's not like, oh, you need to be more aggressive. QED, end of debate, end of discussion, right? It's a lot of like managing engagements, right? So earlier, yeah, absolutely, he needs to be more aggressive. Here, I think he needs to lay back.
But I would imagine both, frankly. But to find a way to eliminate the Palestinians, this is
the thing. Is I don't understand Ethan's win condition here. I don't know what he needs to prove to come away from this with like a definitive victory. But obviously, you should be progressing towards whatever you deem your winning condition, and trying to like edge the conversation in that direction in a short conversation like this.
In the agenda of
Ethan could have got him a few times. Yeah, there are times you could really hammer down on stuff.
At one time, what I think was...
I guess the win condition for Ethan, realistically, is to just come out of this debate looking like a functioning person who can engage with politics at the level these people do, and kind of shed some light on the fact that, like, you don't need to talk about politics 24 hours, 7 days a week to fight with these intellectual heavyweights that portray themselves as debate lords. I mean, the reason why Hasan Piker is such a laughable opponent is that he loses to, like, every single person he talks to. He's generally afraid to engage with people on his platform that are equal-minded to him and prefers to debate like social media influencers, TikTokers, and YouTubers who don't know what they're talking about. That's kind of the stereotype there, is that like he's an intellectual heavyweight who only fights with idiots, or I guess people he perceives to be idiots. So it's not like I think it's easy to do this. You just have to have like a decently good debate performance to kind of make people realize, oh shit, wait, that guy's not as smart as I think he is. Other people can do this. YouTubers who cover drama and talk shit on a fun little podcast can engage with these discussions. And that's kind of the win condition for him. So if that was the goal, to come away like that and get some practice in, I think he does succeed in that department.
A smaller segment of the Israeli...
Imagine being an October 7th victim and then seeing American Sam Seder tell you that you should blame your governor. I mean, if you're an October 7th victim, you probably can't see Sam Seder at all.
A body politic, and I think has increasingly become an even larger a portion of the Israeli politic. So, I mean, anything I say in terms of should is fantastical. Anything.
So, yeah, okay. I mean, so this is like I understand where
it is kind of crazy that, like, dude, I think that, like, the whole saviorism here, it's just like these guys from extreme, I don't know. I think you can be able to discuss this. I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't have these conversations and discuss it. I just think it's rich when all these YouTubers gather around in a room talking about, like, what they would do if they were in control of Israel's government right now. It's like, the one that gets me is that when random white savior Twitter accounts post, like, it's such an easy thing to just obviously defend the good guys in this situation. It's such it's a no-brainer here to defend fucking Palestine, Hamas, and all these people. And if you even engage with it at all, that you're like the enemy or whatever. I to be so brazen like that while living in like the comfort and luxury of an American household is very funny to me.
Coming from, right? Like,
there was an opportunity for a ceasefire that was called in November, in December. They could have held a ceasefire at any point, and the amount of killing would have been far less. They could have done that. They could have ended it after a week.
I mean, Hamas could have ended the war anytime too.
How could have Hamas ended the war?
By releasing the hostages?
No, listen. Israel has said time and time again.
So he walked into this one.
That the release of the hostages is not going to end their assault on Gaza. They have said this over
I don't believe
and
that's
over and over.
So my question to you, and this is how I'd rebut this, but again, I'm an idiot. So Ethan says they could have left or released the hostages. And then now Sam Seder has come back with, well, Israel has said that the hostages aren't, I guess, their factor as to like if you release those hostages, that will not end the war. So then what is like the point of keeping the hostages? Why not just return the hostages at that point? Because you're keeping them and that's going to only raise tension. And by releasing them, it does nothing to help you. So what is the incentive to keep the hostages? If you know that they're still going to bomb you regardless, why keep the hostages?
I haven't seen those statements. I've seen the opposite. I believe that
you really haven't seen those statements?
No, I haven't. I'll review them. I mean, it depends when it depends when they were made too, right? Like, what's in response to?
Any
a bargaining chip? Yeah, but if they continue to say no, we will continue to kill you. It's not really a bargaining chip that way. Now maybe they're bluffing. That's reasonable. Maybe they're bluffing. Maybe they absolutely would. Who knows? But like, then Sam Seder can't make this argument.
At any time, they could have done that.
Well, what has Hamas done to end the war?
Hamas offered
what have they done to end the war?
Early dawn to say Hamas offered all the hostages in agreement for in response to.
Like here, Sam Seder's position. You want to argue this? Argue with Sam Seder.
On to say Hamas offered all the hostages in agreement for in response to Israel not coming into Gaza. I mean, there's just
so then. Your bargaining chip's worthless. Why do you have it? If you guys stop coming into Gaza, we will give you all the hostages. No, we will continue blowing you up. Okay, then what is the value of your bargaining chip?
To defend Israel's actions.
That didn't happen either.
Being inevitable. Like, when do you think they should have ended it? When do you think they should have ended it?
So who have ended what?
You've asked me the question, what should have Israel done? You tell me what they should have done. Do you think what they've done is right?
Well, I've clearly stated no.
Sam is more calm and collected in the Jubilee debate, and he looks really mad and shook here. Well, I think the intensity of this moment is bothering Sam. I think he is I think he's nervous, which I think is reasonable here. He's probably going in front of more eyes than what, like, every person in Ethan's audience that's going to come at him hard here is probably not a regular viewer. He's also getting blasted by Hasan. This is probably like the biggest thing he's done in a while, right? I don't know, maybe. Maybe no. I don't know what he's getting views these days or whatever. Maybe like public non-YouTube related things he's doing. But I imagine Hasan watching this and Ethan watching this at the same time is opening him up to a ton more people. I mean, I'm fucking covering this right now to like 6,000 people. So,
Sam.
Okay, so tell me what they should have done.
I don't watch Sam Seder.
So I mean, obviously, hindsight is a beautiful thing, but in my opinion, like you said, I think some more specific strikes. I think more moving slowly because
also when you do stuff like Jubilee, I don't know the mechanics of Jubilee, but I know some of these debate things. They pick topics that they're super read into, that they've practiced over and over, that they know the counter arguments. They're not walking into this with like, wait, is Jubilee you pick the topic, I debate you? Unless I'm completely off here. This is a difficult topic. As much as Twitter doesn't want you to believe it, this is a very difficult topic to engage with. Because there is no right side. There is no right side to this conflict. Everyone is bad for multitudes of reasons.
You kind of pointed out, but didn't really acknowledge.
When do you think they should have ended?
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'll always go back to the argument where they called me a coward, where I said, what side do you support, Nick? And I said, I support whichever one is killing and raping less women and whoever's killing less children. And they said, you're a coward. And it's like, no, I just denounce this behavior. I think a land dispute where you rape and kill fucking women and children is probably pretty bad. And I don't really see a point in hedging my bets with either one of them. I don't. It doesn't personally speak to me.
Yeah. So the leadership is obviously underground. So it's going to be a long mission of trying to get them.
I'm not going to like wear an IDF supporter T-shirt or fucking learn a different language and fucking praise Hamas because I guess you're locked into some position that probably flies in the face of some other issue that you pretend you care so much about.
It's going to be a difficult mission. But I think militarily, they probably have some obligation to their citizens.
I'm also realistic. I don't think this is going to end without conflict. That's another reason why this is such a complex discussion, because this is the type of situation in history that ends when one group is gone. And that's a really uncomfortable fucking discussion. I don't know how the fuck this ends without bloodshed. I have no idea. So I can't really get behind it because I'm not rooting for more bloodshed. But if I can't mentally come up with a reason why these people would stop fighting, it's kind of a waste of time for me to engage with it.
At the very least, to like take out but we're ignoring the fact that missiles are being shot into Israel nonstop. And I know you're going to say, Iron Dome stops most of them, which is true. But at the same time, I mean, a country needs to respond to that. They can't just allow missiles to be shot in.
Tell me the non-fantastical version of what they should have done. Should it have been 2 weeks, 3 weeks? How many Hamas leaders, how many members of Hamas should they have killed before they leave? Because we know that Blinken said on his way out that virtually every Hamas member of Hamas that they've killed has probably been replaced by someone who's lost a family member or an entire family or whatnot. So you tell me, Ethan, if you're the one with the sensical perspective on this, and mine is fantastical, what should they have done that would have been appropriate in your mind?
Yeah. So besides like special...
And now it's like, he just threw it back in Ethan's face, and it's equally as difficult of a question to answer. Because there is no like answer that would be salvageable here, I don't think.
Operations and stuff. I think it would have been a good idea to...
What are you going to do? Pull out a map and just start pointing into locations that probably, like, that you could realistically justify bombing live on stream? How would you even begin to answer this in this format? Again, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because Sam can't answer it, and I don't really know if Ethan can either.
I think there's a space where they could, like, try to find...
It's an easy way to catch a YouTuber who doesn't know what they're talking about, which is kind of me, to say something extremely egregious, clippable, and then blast it to Reddit, and you look like Frogan.
And peace partners in Gaza before destroying the whole thing. Like, obviously, they approached it completely wrong, right? But there are
No, he's navigating this well.
ways, I think, that could have happened.
Yeah, list one is what if I'm Sam Seder, I go, okay, list one. There are ways, list one.
Are realistic, like trying to forge some kind of peace partner, some kind of alliance, some kind of...
But Ethan, Israel is not interested in peace. We've already established this.
All those coalition. People were marching. They were marching. They were marching in the Great March of Return week after week after week.
Sam, was there Hamas activity at the Great March?
Sinwar was marching. Sinwar was marching with them.
Dude, Simba is marching right now in the Great, what is it, the Lion King.
People attacking the border wall?
During the Great March of Return, the first dozens of these things before the snipers, no, they weren't. So there were the people for peace.
There was Hamas activity. They were attacking the fence. They were like trying to cross the border.
They were attacking,
but not militants. Militants were trying to cross the border.
You're telling me that in the first dozen of these marches, there were people attacking the fence?
Correct.
Okay.
I have no idea how to fact check that, so I don't know. That could be either the worst point or the best point in the debate. I don't know. Sam's wearing on his face right there. I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows either. Yeah, I don't know. Like, my chat has no idea. Lonerbox discussed this. Ethan is right. I mean, I don't know what Lonerbox said. I don't have Lonerbox on my screen. But if you want an in-depth political analysis of this, go watch Lonerbox. I'm not the guy. I'm not that fucking guy. I'm wearing it on my sleeve. I mentioned it like 60 times throughout the stream. I have fucking no idea what's going on in the Middle East, and I only know about it from watching these streams, okay? Against my will. It's not I am not particularly passionate about any of that stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, again, I think that there's a way for Israel to try. I think they can obviously pursue peace. The way that they're doing it is impossible, right? Like, it's fucked up. It's insane. It's genocidal. It's horrific.
They're not.
By the way, also, I'm going to probably upload this segment in a couple days, or you got like 3 or 4 days to do it. If there's anything demonstrably false, I welcome you to at me on Twitter with it, or shoot me an email or something like that. I can look into it for you. I can ask a few people, and I'd be happy to like include something in the VOD. So I'm not like willingly spreading misinformation. If anyone wants to reach out to me and tell me exactly what's wrong with anything in here, that I can put some context to, I'm happy to do that.
Pursuing peace.
I'm not saying. I'm saying the opposite.
Peace. I don't
Sam.
think Israel is.
Well, you asked me what should they have done. I mean, obviously
Yes.
they're not pursuing peace. I agree with you. Like, quite the opposite. That's not what they're doing. But I'm saying there could have been a path, although it's not. I think, unfortunately, I think their response was inevitable based on everything that happened.
You think it was inevitable that they would kill these many people and they would use food supplies as a weapon, that they would have leveled hospitals and universities?
So it's like, okay, I think Ethan walked into it here by not being specific with his language. This is so great. Dude, I need this is like a GIF. This is amazing. This is such a good... Oh, what the fuck, dude? That's so awesome. What were we talking about? Holy shit, that's so funny. Oh, I love this. Okay, I fucking forgot what we were talking about. Yeah, Ethan probably walked into this. He probably should have been specific, but eagle-eyed viewers would remember that the question was, on October 8th, what should they have done? So he's not talking specifically about every single thing. He's talking about what the immediate response to October 7th should have been. But again, you've lost, like, we're so far strayed from the question.
There could have been a path, although it's not. I think, unfortunately, I think their response was inevitable based on everything that happened.
You think it was inevitable that they would kill these many people?
Like, it's just a wall. This is an unwinnable argument.
And they would use food supplies as a weapon, that they
Come
would
for the
have
intense political topic, stay for Nick's memes. I feel like that you must be the only one who comes to me for politics, because I am actually useless when it comes to politics.
Hospitals and universities and 80-90% of the homes. I mean, how?
Why is his eyebrows so wonky? I don't know, dude. I think it's coke.
How
I don't know to what extent, but like a huge.
Look, watch this.
A huge response was definitely inevitable. I'm not justifying it, Sam. You asked.
Look how much coke he must be doing.
I'm answering it. You're putting this on me like I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying inevitability.
Dude, he's drinking the water because he's got cotton mouth from all the coke. I don't think that's how that works. Hold on. Let me see that. Enhancer for YouTube. How do I make this go faster than 2 times? Can it go to like 3 times? I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, you can really tell when you put someone on 2x speed. That's how the police actually identify you have cocaine. They put you at 2x speed at a traffic stop, and if you can't walk in a straight line at normal speed from 2x, then you probably have there's coke in your system.
I wonder what you must think of an Israeli body politic where this level of atrocity is inevitable.
Well, you described your and Hamas's understanding of that idea. I wouldn't say that. I can't say to what extent, but you agree that huge response was inevitable.
This is how Destiny debates, dude. This is exactly how Destiny debates. Dude, look how much coke he does.
What's the name of the
I think this is
guy
awesome, dude. I think Ethan won.
Nick DeOrio.
World's worst political commentator, somehow
faster.
also the world's best political commentator by just being normal for a
Thank
few
you.
hours at a time.
This is great. I think this debate's awesome, dude. I'm loving this. And if you're watching the VOD, you can 2x this to go to 32 times speed. This is actually what it sounds like to me when I was watching myself. They're both, I think that Sam Seder is really picking up the slack right now. This is Destiny versus Ben Shapiro. Yeah, Destiny on meth versus Ben Shapiro. By the way, what is it, dude? The faster we make it, the less it looks like Ethan has Tourette's. You notice that? Like dude, if you go fast enough, you can't see the ticks. Maybe this is the new meta. Wait, I think we found a way for Asmongold.
No, I am not. Why would so many people be Googling that?
All right, I'm gonna go back to 1x.
Managed to find things to fight about anyway. And that's what two Jews do, isn't it, Sam?
Oh, the debate's over now. Fuck, dude, I was really enjoying that.
That happens. That's my understanding.
He does not look happy.
Appreciate it. All right, take it easy, man.
Have a great time with your children at dinner there. Enjoy.
Thanks, I will.
Bye.
All right, you too. Bye.
That was way different.
Oh!
But okay.
I thought it was interesting. I enjoyed that.
I forgot Dan was there the entire time. They just cut to Dan, and I'm like, holy fuck, I forgot there's other people that work here.
The watcher.
Was I owned?
I don't think you were owned. I don't think anybody was owned. I think it was two people that are highly opinionated hashing it out. And I think I personally like when people do that.
Yeah.
I don't get.
I think this is the opposite of what the Hasan debate tomorrow is going to be. I think that was a conversation. You can agree to disagree on a lot of Sam's positions, but the only part that's frustrating for me is the weird Hasan sweeping that we covered in the very beginning. Other than that, it seemed like he tried to at least engage. He just doesn't agree with Ethan.
Turned off by the combativeness.
The Hasan one's going to be a screaming match of like total ego death.
Right.
Maybe it's that's
going to be like TED over and over again.
That's the half Jewish part of me.
But the truthfully is like, again, on the larger points, we agree. That's why I take cross.
By the way, I love that Dan is wearing a stealth yarmulke right now. That's what those things are. They call them beanies, but those are stealth yarmulkes.
The truthfully is like, again, on the larger points, we agree. That's why I take cross with this issue of being like, he's a genocide supporter, he's a fucking baby killer, and all this insane. He goes, Sam, you never heard of hyperbole? Yeah, I've heard of hyperbole. It's you're
the king of hyperbole.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's what like the IDF soldiers who are in the Black Ops wear. Instead of wearing their yarmulke like out and about, they wear that because it's better for like camouflage. I think, right? That's what I learned.
He's a fucking baby killer and all this insane.
It's like a Navy SEAL, dude.
He goes, Sam, you never heard of hyperbole? Yeah, I've heard of hyperbole. It's you're
the king of hyperbole.
Yeah. So I mean, like, is my downfall that I have too much faith or I have too
Ethan, the problem with you in that debate is you just loved too much, dude.
much optimism in the Israeli citizenry.
Dude, if you ever have an interview for anything in your life and they ask you what your greatest weakness is and you go, my greatest weakness is that I have no weaknesses, you're not getting the job. Sorry, just want to intervene that right now, dude. That is the worst. Everyone thinks that's like the most based answer you could possibly give. You look like a fucking idiot.
Maybe I guess that's where we differ. That seemed to be where we are differing the most. I don't know.
I think you're right to identify that as and I mean, Sam is older, and he's in his 50s or something, and so maybe he's just more jaded.
Yeah, he definitely is more jaded. There's no question about that, and rightfully so, right?
Well, now we know the age-old question: if Ethan talked to approved Jew Sam Seder, would he come away feeling differently? I guess maybe that's it. Maybe that's why we're here. Maybe that's the reason that we came to you today to watch this debate. Hasan said if you talked to approved Jew Sam Seder, you would see the light. And then Ethan talked to him and just didn't agree. It's just fundamentally not his position. Maybe that was what we were supposed to learn today, is that Hasan was wrong.
Fully so.
I don't know. I can't definitively say because I don't know the fact checks and stuff that like Ethan won or Sam Seder lost or Sam Seder won or Ethan lost. But what I can say is Hasan Piker lost.
But yeah, I enjoyed watching that.
I will say, as a Jewish person, the contentious point in the argument of the clip of Hasan, it kind of shocked me, to be honest.
I was a little.
I feel like I won. Yeah, I feel like I won that debate.
To be honest, and as much as I love Sam, he was being very obtuse, in my opinion, when trying to talk about that clip to avoid criticizing Hasan, which is fine. I understand he doesn't want to get.
I think a little obtuse is wildly underselling that for sure.
Into that game, right? Of being on.
I wish this drama wasn't about Israel and Palestine. As Israeli, it feels so icky. Like, I'm sorry, yeah, it probably sucks, but you can find solace in the fact that like Hasan thinks you shouldn't even be a local dog catcher. So yeah.
Record being like, oh yeah, Hasan shouldn't have said that or whatever, right?
It sounds like you caught a stray.
But ultimately, obviously, I greatly disagree with him, and I think it's kind of. It's funny how he talks about how dangerous it is for me to call out anti-Semitism or how ridiculous it is for me to weaponize it like that. It's like
I'm just kind of shocked that that's like a take that he had. That's my biggest takeaway, because when you talk about all this policy shit and like what Israel and what Palestine should do in this situation, okay, whatever, that can go either way. I don't fucking know the answer to those questions. I do know that clip of Hasan is crazy, and there's no defending that clip. So any defense of that is just it doesn't look good. I don't know how you can engage with that the way that Sam Seder did and kind of walk through it. It's like you're just like stepping into rake after rake after rake after rake. I'm glad I saw that part, because like that's probably the only thing I can really comment on.
When at the same time,
it's a weird thing because you don't really want to like. I understand the impulse to just want to have a conversation with Sam and keep it with like the here and now of, your beliefs and everything, but the degree to which the harassment that you and Hila have experienced over the last couple of years.
Christ is king. No, I think Trump is king, dude. Did you see what's Project 2020 something, 2028 or whatever? I don't know what the fuck it's called. Dude, take it over, bro. Christ is king. Have you seen the Trump 2028 hats? Does that not make you uncomfortable?
It is part of the story.
Does that not make? Does it? I'm sorry for the fucking even the Republicans in chat right now. Does it not make you uncomfortable that they're selling Trump 2028 merch on his website? It makes me uncomfortable.
Like,
yeah, it's true.
I don't know. It's tricky because like I get the impulse to like not want to get into it, but like that is a component of all of this. That
well, and unfortunately, whatever Sam's been peppered with before the debate, I've seen is his co-host telling him that I'm obsessed with Hasan, that I'm having a mental health break, that I'm a genocidal maniac, all this kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, without having any of the backstory, that's the flavor he's coming in with.
I mean, you're free to unsub over that opinion. I'm not you've probably already been replaced. But my thing is with that, it's just, I feel like if you love this country, you wouldn't want someone to run 3 consecutive terms and doom your party. I mean, that realistically, you'd want your party to find somebody who's capable to run, which it doesn't seem like they really have at this point.
But ultimately, I find,
even from like your perspective, it seems stupid. Are you going to bank on this guy until he fucking dies? Then what happens? What's your next move? You're going to bring in Baron Trump. You're going to have like a whole line of Trumps, like the lineage is going to carry the country. You guys can't find another person who can stand up there and talk at fucking Democrats? Really?
I don't want to speak ill of Sam, right? I appreciate him coming and having an honest conversation with me. I was also disappointed by his response to that specific line of questioning, Zach. I share that with you. And I think the way that he was hand-waving away anti-Semitism as like, it doesn't matter that people are discriminating
like
against.
JD Vance isn't running shit, dude. I'm sorry. This is not happening. Unless like something catastrophic happens and he's forced to take the mantle. I don't see JV. I don't think he's running.
Against Jewish people.
If he is running, it's an easy win for fucking Democrats.
In America because of what's happening in Gaza.
And again, maybe I was wrong. I said Trump was an unelectable candidate last time, so I was completely wrong. I was completely wrong about that, so I don't know.
It's like, well, first of all, two different issues, kind of. Whatever's happening in Gaza is one thing, and whatever rise into anti-Semitism we're seeing in America is a whole different fucking thing with its own set of problems. And believe it or not, they're both bad. To the same extent? Obviously not, right? Obviously one has an immediate, horrible effect in Gaza right now.
You were right. Well, no, I said that before he won. No, I was wrong. He definitely won. he was definitely electable considering he did get elected. I didn't think he could win the second time after he lost.
Nicholas,
and then contested
the
it.
Goat. Thank you for
years.
the $5, my man.
I did not think he could win.
And the threat of anti-Semitism is an amorphous, nebulous thing that's like hard to measure and hard to say. And Jews, our whole life in America, people.
All right, I'm pretty much done. I don't think there's much really to do here. We went through more than I expected to cover. I basically have to make this a separate segment, which is kind of stupid because that means I have to put a whole politics segment up on my fucking YouTube channel. Because we at least cover this for an hour and it doesn't really fit the other thing. Is there anything else here that I want to see before I leave? Not the stream. I have got one more thing I want to do.
I just saw Keffel's
Ariana Grande breakup?
A lot of these rumors came from blind items. There's this blind item.
I am conservative and I am pretty sure all of the flags will say, God is gay, in 2 years. Non-Trump enthusiasts ain't happy out here.
Oh, God. Dude, not Ariana Grande, all right? Bro, I'm going to tell you right now, this is like, I'm opening up to you, chat, all right? This is like my most embarrassing traits, dude. I think this, dude, Ariana Grande's 7 Rings is a total banger. I could never, like, use it as stream music, but dude, this is a banger fucking song. Hold on.